So in today's video I'm going to be talking about marketing law and the regulations that marketers should comply with. So the first thing that all marketers need to be aware of is GDPR. GDPR came in to consider new technological developments, the resulting proliferation of consumer data, and the changing consumer attitudes and expectations. What should you do if you spot a data breach or you are involved with a data breach? Well, in the case of a personal data breach, you should report all info to the governance team within your organisation. If you don't have a governance team, or you're a sole trader or a small business, you have to report this data breach to the ICO within 72 hours of finding out that it's happened. If there's a high risk from this data breach, you should also inform any individuals concerned, so even the people whose data who's been breached, within 72 hours as well. If this doesn't happen, you could be liable for a fine of up to £500,000. But for the everyday uses of GDPR, there are 6 legal grounds for processing personal data, and for marketers, the most 2 that you're likely to use are legitimate interest and consent. So consent includes ticking a box when you visit a website to say, yes, I agree to let you process my data. It includes choosing technical settings yourself, for example, altering your privacy settings in your internet browser. It could be any other statement that clearly shows, that anybody using your site or getting in contact with you gives their consent. Quite often it is you go onto a website and it's a tick box. You'll get a pop-up that says, do you consent to us using your data, and you'll click accept and continue. Consent does not include silence, pre-ticked boxes or inactivity, so you have to actively get that consent before you can use it. Another regulatory body to be aware of in marketing is the Advertising Standards Authority, which is the independent regulator of advertising across all media. So there are 33 different categories, including misleading advertising, harm and offence, children, political matters, nutrition, gambling and competitions, to name a few. So those are the different categories that you have to be aware of the specific legislation when marketing around them. There are different ones as well, but they're just the main ones. And different codes will apply to you based on your sector, based on what it is that you're marketing. So for the charity category, for example, you may only advertise as a charity if you have a registered charitable status with HM Revenue and Customs. Any adverts you put out as a charity must not misrepresent the charity, its activities or benefits of donated funds. It must not exaggerate the scale or nature of funds or the cause that it claims to support. It must not disrespect the dignity of those on behalf of who the appeal is being made for money. And it must not address fundraising messages to children or likely to be of particular interest to children. So you can scroll through the 33 different categories to find the ones that are relevant to you and what you will be marketing, and you can read up on the different codes of conduct. There are more than the ones I've just spoke about for charity. There are lots of different ones for every category, and I would really recommend giving them a read just so you know what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, and take that into consideration when you're planning any marketing activity. So the CIM is the chartered body for marketing professionals, and it requires members to adhere to a code of professional standards as a condition of their membership, and it basically ensures that anybody who is practicing under the name of the CIM has reached a level of competence in marketing. It's not something that you have to have, you don't have to be a member of the CIM, but it's strongly recommended that if you are working in marketing, you adhere to these codes of conduct, you make sure that you are proficient in the standards that they've set out, so I would definitely recommend giving their website a look. The CIM states that as a minimum, competent marketers should have experience in the core competencies of insights, strategy and customer focus. It also says you should have technical competencies of branding, integrated marketing comms, digital integration, product management, monitoring and measuring effectiveness, customer experience, partnership marketing, risk and reputation. And then there are some behavioural standards that it would expect to see as well, which is to be collaborative, creative, responsible, financially literate, innovative, challenging, entrepreneurial and commercially aware, as well as being influential. So those are the competencies that it recommends that you have to practice marketing. There are ways to test that, there are qualifications you can do with the CIM to kind of prove that and to get a certificate. And a good way of doing that is applying to become a chartered marketer. So the way that you can do that is to get at least 3 years marketing experience or a level 6 qualification in marketing that is approved by the CIM, which is equivalent to an undergrad degree. So some universities are pre-approved by the CIM, and if you study a degree in marketing with them, you can kind of skip the 3-year experience wait period. And then after you've done that, you have to complete a 2-year continuing professional development period, and at the end of that a final assessment. So if you're someone like me, I don't have 3 years of experience, I don't have an accredited degree, so it's a 5-year pathway. And then of course there's the law when it comes to marketing and advertising that you should be aware of. So when it comes to direct marketing, you must check if customers want to be contacted by fax, phone, post or email and give them the chance to object, and you must be able to prove you've done this. So quite often on a website there might be a pop-up box that says how may we contact you, or if you submit an online form it might say how may we contact you, and you can tick boxes. That is referring to that. When you collect customer details, you must get their permission if you want to send them offers or promotions. Quite often there'll be a tick box that says do you want to receive our offers and promotions, and you can tick that if you do, or you can leave it blank if you don't. And you must also ask for their permission if you want to share their information with another organisation. Often this is something that's hidden in the T's and C's, and you'll just tick a box that says yes, I agree to the T's and C's, and that's usually written somewhere in there. You have to let customers opt out if they wish to. So customers have the right to stop their information being used for direct marketing. You must make it easy to opt out for them, for example by sending stop text to a short number or using an unsubscribe link on the bottom of an email. And when it comes to cookies, you must tell visitors on your website how your site uses cookies and ask if they want to accept them. And all information about this should be easy to understand. So I hope that you found this video useful. It was just a really quick overview of the regulations and laws around marketing that you should be aware of. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment and I'll try my best to answer it.